All right, welcome this afternoon. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all Illinois students, sponsored by the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Just a couple of housekeeping announcements before we go ahead and get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to the presenters at any time throughout this presentation. We are in webinar mode, so your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions over the next 5 weeks that are happening, so please check out the full schedule at IACAC.org if you're interested in signing up for more sessions. And then lastly, this presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week or so. So again, if you'd like to access this content again or share it with friends or family members, you can also do that at IACAC.org. So now without further ado, I will turn it over to our presenters from Murray State to get us started.
Thank you, thank you. Hello everyone, my name is John Halcomb and I am one of the admission counselors here at Murray State University. And I just wanted to say welcome to this short little informational session we have put together for you all today. And today I'm joined by...
Hi, my name is Trent. I'm also an admissions counselor at Murray State University. The unique thing about Illinois is that John and I share Illinois students. So I live in St. Louis, Missouri. I kind of handle that area of Illinois right over the river, as I like to say. And then John takes care from top to bottom, that we like to say. So from all of our friends down in Metropolis all the way up to Chicago. But I'll kick it over to John to get us rolling.
Yeah. So I'll kind of go ahead and start with my story and how I got to Murray State. So I'm a little less traditional than a first-time freshman. I went to a junior college actually in the state of Illinois for 2 years. And then a good friend of mine from high school had come to Murray State and he told me, hey, John, look, listen, come to Murray State, come check out Murray State. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do for the next 2 years. I just know I wanted to finish at a 4-year institution. So I came down one weekend. He was a student ambassador, gave me a tour of campus, fell in love with the campus, and then I just decided to come and spend the rest of my time here. Took a little bit longer than 2 years, 2.5 years to graduate. While I was on campus, I was involved in Greek life, student ambassadors, summer orientation. I was a student worker in our office currently, and that led to a full-time job for the Office of Recruitment here. I enjoyed my time so much at Murray State, I decided to stick around for a little while longer and work full-time. But actually the number on the screen says for 29 consecutive years, we've been ranked a top tier university by US News and World Report. And that came out just last week that for the 30th consecutive year, we've been ranked a top tier university. And we take a lot of pride inside of that. So kind of breaking down Murray State, we have about 10,000 students enrolled. We have about 7,000 undergraduate students and around 3,000 graduate students, give or take. We have 45 states represented here on campus, as well as 50 countries represented from around the world. So we take a lot of pride in all the diversity that we bring onto campus. We have 143 different academic programs here at Murray State, so we're pretty confident you can find something that you'll enjoy spending your time here studying. So Murray is located in the heart of Western Kentucky. Murray, the city of Murray was actually voted the friendliest small town in America by USA Today, and we take a lot of pride in that. The community really comes together and wants to make the student feel like they have a home away from home, no matter how far they've traveled to get here. Murray isn't far from a lot of bigger cities like St. Louis and Nashville. It's about 3 hours to St. Louis, about 2 hours to Nashville. So if you want to get away on a little weekend trip somewhere to go to a big city, we have that option for students as well. The city of Murray, we have a lot of local music, art galleries, museums, sporting events, boutiques, thrift shops, all that. So you do kind of get the small town vibe with a kind of bigger city with having the university here in Murray. So Murray is actually located about 20 minutes from the National Land Between the Lakes recreation area, which is Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley. So it's a short drive over to the lakes if you enjoy hiking or like being outdoors. We have a lot of students that take advantage of that opportunity. Our wellness center actually rents out kayaks, canoes, tents, stuff like that that you can go take out to the lakes and take it on the water, or you can go camp out at the lakes, which is super nice to have that for our students that enjoy being outside. The city of Murray has a population around 19,000 without the students. Like I mentioned earlier, it was voted the friendliest small town in America by USA Today, and they take a lot of pride in just making sure students are feeling comfortable on campus and in the city of Murray. So on campus, we have 173 different student organizations. And the cool thing is, if there is something that you enjoy doing and we don't have it here on campus, you can actually go to our Center for Student Involvement with 3 other students and a faculty member and create your own club or organization. That's super neat that we offer that for our students. All of those student organizations you can see in the bottom left. We have Greek Life, we have political organizations, we have honor society, professional organizations. We have all of those kind of services for our students here on campus. If a student played a sport in high school or wants to get out of their comfort zone and maybe try a new sport while they're here in college, we have 25 different intramural teams and sports clubs here on campus where you can go out there and stay active. We are a Division I school when it comes to athletics. We compete in the Ohio Valley Conference, and we have 15 NCAA teams here on campus that you can see all on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. We take a lot of pride in our athletics here on campus. Athletic events are free for students to go to with your student ID. So as long as you have your student ID, any sporting event on campus you can get into for free. So that's also a pro without being at those big schools where you might not be able to get tickets to the basketball games or football games. And I will kind of pass it back over to Trent.
Thanks, John. So kind of to start with, some things are unique to our campus. The reason why we say we're tradition keepers is because we have that unique school size. We do have 10,000 total students. We are a Division I with athletics. We've got a lot going on. We are that big school experience a lot of students want when it comes to the resources, the opportunity. But our community is pretty small. It's pretty intimate. And people are very proud to wear blue and gold, say go Racers. So these are some things that are really unique to kind of the story of Murray State. The first two being that on our campus, and John, if you want to go to the next slide, the first two being on our campus is Racer 1 and the Shoe Tree. So again, we do have Division I football. So anytime that our team scores a touchdown, that horse runs around the track. So we have a pretty popular equine science program that is on campus that's pretty well known in the area. That's an equine science student. That horse belongs over in our equine science and horse barns that are part of our university community. But again, it's one of those cool things. How many schools do you know that have an actual horse mascot that belongs to your school? The Shoe Tree, I always plug for our Hopeless Romantics. If you come to our campus, you meet someone, you happen to fall in love, you'll come back and nail your shoe to the shoe tree. It's a really long-running tradition on our campus. They've had multiple shoe trees over the years. But you've probably seen this shoe tree, believe it or not, in a couple of different country music videos, listed on a bunch of really unique websites, campus landmarks. But it's something that I say, even if you don't come to campus and maybe you don't fall in love, it's still a testament. It's a symbol of how easy it is to meet people, to get involved, like John was talking about earlier, but how comfortable and easy it is to really make the experience your own on our campus. So again, those are kind of the first two things. Two more things that sometimes people don't know about Murray State is that we are a big performing arts school. So on the next slide, you're going to see we have two really unique programs. First being Campus Light. So it's a student-led production, and it's one of the oldest in the entire South and in the country. So that acting, singing, directing, set design, the music, it's all performed by our students. They now, of course, do have some faculty who are watching over, answering questions and advising, but that experience is completely done by them, put on every spring right after the holiday break. And then All Campus Sing is a lot of people's favorite event of that semester. So as you see, we have about 3,000 to 5,000 people who join us in the quad and watch. And then on the steps of Lovett Auditorium, which is our main quad on campus that's completely full of folks, and on the steps is every fraternity, sorority, honors society. We also have all of our residence halls. They put together kind of a 3 to 5 minute song and dance. They perform it on the steps of Lovett Auditorium. and they're competing to all win all campus sing. That is my favorite day of the year. You see alumni come back from all over the country and all over our area because they did all campus sing 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe even 60 years ago, and have very fond memories of practicing with their organization members and hopefully having that pride of saying they won all campus sing while they were there. So again, some really unique things to us that we're very proud of. And then kind of moving on to the next thing we want to talk about, and for sure, the most important thing of going to college is what are you going to study? So for us, that is a list of our top 5 most popular majors that are on our campus. We do have 6 total academic colleges that all 143 of those programs are housed under. So I'll talk very briefly about some of the most popular ones, of course, being nursing. We are AACSB accredited over in our College of Business. So this is finance, business administration, marketing, accounting, all those programs tout there in the top 5% of all business schools in the country. And you can get that quality education right there on our campus in Murray, Kentucky. Of course, biology usually on our campus means that you are pre-med. So that could be biology or chemistry, but what was really unique about academic life, and before I really go in depth about our programs, as we talked about earlier, Murray really does have that medium-sized offering for students. So, it sometimes feels like a big school on game day or when there's concerts or whenever John and I were there and we were on ESPN, it felt like every other week. But really when you're in the classroom, you're getting that education, that what you're really paying for when you're there. It's a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio. There's about 22 students in every class. So we really offer an individualized experience in your classes. That's something that a lot of students want, that bigger school feel, but they don't really want to be in a big school classroom. You don't want to be in lecture halls. You don't want to have a class with 150 people because it's so hard to ask questions. And the big thing that we think comes along with our academic success and kind of the rigor of college is that you're also going to have faculty who know your story. They know where you're from. They know what that major means to you. So not necessarily the class that you're taking right there, but where it leads you on your journey while you're in college. That's something that really stuck out to me. I was your stereotypical 18-year-old bully who had no idea what he wanted to do. He was just excited to be in college. And our faculty really took the time to ask me questions, to push me, and to hold me accountable too. I know if you're a high school student and you're on this call right now, I'm sure you've heard, when you get to college, nobody's going to care if insert whatever. Nobody's going to help you if you X. I always tell students, our faculty are not like that. We're also a teaching institution. That's something that John kind of pointed out is, you're going to get a lot of time just with your faculty members. Our faculty are there to teach you. They have their PhDs to educate. All of the resources, when you hopefully tour our campus soon, everything that you see, every lab, every piece of equipment is for undergraduate students to focus on. So you're going to be able to get hands-on experience from the second that you step foot on our campus to do that, to have your academic program. Down the list a little further, occupational safety and health, that is also known as OSH on our program. It's one of the highest paying majors on our campus. It's a lot about keeping workplaces safe. So if you know the job of a foreman, these are where, and John and I both have friends who studied OSH. These are people who work for Amazon, who work for Boeing, Chevron, and you're keeping those workplaces and those companies safe. So again, very high paying. Their internships in the summer sometimes pay between $9,000 and $13,000. Let's see. Oh, the asterisks that are on our screen are for programs of distinction that are there. And they also are programs you can get a bachelor's and a master's degree in. That's a good question. So the last program that is listed on there, so agricultural sciences, we are a big agriculture school. So on our campus, we do have 3 farms that are associated with the university. I was talking about our equine science program a little bit earlier. We also are a pre-vet and a vet tech school. So for students who are wanting to go into that professional, into a professional type setting, so that's pre-med, pre-law, pre-PT, pre-OT, pre-vet, it's really great to go to a school the size of Murray because you're getting the same education you would get at a larger school. But when it comes to that graduate application, you're going to know your faculty well enough to get a recommendation letter. They're going to really recognize your work in the classroom. You've had time to do research with them. You've done a lot more than just sit in the classroom with those individuals. So we always say that's what really sets our academic experience apart. So to kind of wrap those up, if you're sitting here and you're listening to me thinking, I don't want to do any of that stuff, I have no idea where to start, what do I do? The very bottom of this page where it says undecided question mark, we do have a free interest assessment. A lot of people think that this ties you into Murray State. This is your application. This is for anyone who wants to fill it out. We will basically ask you, how do you like to learn? So what do your classes look like? What are the subjects you enjoy studying, the format you like to do that in? And then we will actually pair you with about 5 programs that are on our campus. that might fit the bill for you. You can learn more about them, what jobs look like, what pay would look like, and then what that program looks like on our campus too. So if you've not done that, it's called the My Majors Assessment. Please fill that out. Because again, there's a lot on this campus. You know, John and I know a little bit about all 143 programs, but we are by no means the expert, other than the social work degree that I have and the business degree that John has. But kind of going on to the next steps, what I kind of told John, you know, I have the nuts and bolts type part of this presentation. So the next thing we're really going to talk about on the next slide is going to be admissions. So of course, like most public schools that you've heard from this fall, we are test optional. So again, if you have a 3.0 GPA, you're basically good to go for us. If you have below a 3.0, we are looking for at least an 18 ACT or 960 SAT to accompany your GPA. Your GPA still has to be above a 2.5. If you're below a 2.5, you will not be admissible. But you'll notice for us, and it's kind of very simply put on the bullet points, we do not have essays, we do not have recommendation letters, and we are not on the Common App. So again, it's on our home website. If you want, we can shoot you that in the chat right now. Then I always joke with students, if I'm ever presenting to you and you get bored, this is usually the halfway point of what we're talking about. So feel free to zone out, go over to our webpage, fill out the application. It's not going to offend me. But again, maybe 10 to 15 total minutes would take you to apply. And then after that, our process is usually you will get an email back from us in about 72 hours, mostly saying thank you for applying, letting you know that somebody's kind of activated the application. And then our goal for every applicant is for you to physically have something in your hands within about 2 weeks. Again, we have no deadlines, but we do have what I tell students kind of a timeline, and that's what's going to be on the next slide. As far as, you know, this is the time of year people will ask us, well, what do I need to be doing right now? You know, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, you kind of feel trapped. You don't know what to do. What's next? Where do I start? So for us, we do recommend if you are interested in Murray State, we're in one of your top 5 schools that you're considering, go ahead and apply now. Again, you can apply all the way, and this stresses John and I out when you do this, but you could technically wait until June to apply and attend in August. But we recommend if you want to be eligible for scholarships, if you want to fill out priority housing, go ahead and get that application now, because you notice our timeline really starts September 1st. So admitted students right now get access to the scholarship application. FAFSA is going to open up very soon, and then kind of down that list with scholarship and then award dates too. So kind of going on to the next piece, and I believe one of the last things I'll talk about before I hand it over to John is our actual scholarship process. So first, we do have 2 tiers of institutional money. Again, going back to the FAFSA, just make sure you're filling it out. Your high school guidance counselor can talk to you all about what FAFSA means, what they do for people. But institutionally, if you're applying to Murray State, you have at least a 21 ACT, 1060 SAT, and a minimum of a 3.0 GPA, you're guaranteeing yourself a 4-year scholarship. The first thing you might be thinking right now is, oh my gosh, I'm a senior, I have not taken that test yet. Am I going to get any money? You have essentially until you step foot on our campus for class. So July, August 2021 to lock this scholarship in. A lot of schools, and I always own up to it, every public school probably has a grid like this that you've seen. What is unique about ours is, one, it's percentage based. So we're going to talk in a little bit for Illinois folks specifically. You are not an out-of-state student with us. Yes, we are in Kentucky. Yes, we are anywhere, depending on where you're from, 6 hours or 45 minutes away. That's kind of how Illinois is laid out. But you're not paying out-of-state tuition and fees. It's called a regional tuition. But let's say you've got a 20 on your ACT or a 1,300. You know, you're paying less than half of that every year, and that $1,000 can go to your stipend. So again, there's no additional requirements. You don't have to reapply for this every year. But this is kind of our catch-all immediate. You will hear John and I call it either the automatic scholarship or the grid scholarship. But again, for students, anytime that you take the test score, whenever you are able to take it for the first time, as long as we receive your scores, we have a copy of your transcript, we will offer you the scholarship. Now over here on the right is our more traditional application that we offer students to fill out. And this is where we really ask you to unload. So we want you to tell us clubs, sports, organizations, do you have a part-time job? You know, what are you spending your time doing? Because this competitive application is going to be based on the state you're from, maybe the city, or sometimes even the high school you're specifically from. There's going to be a scholarship for you specifically because of your academic program, but you do have to put all that information in one place. So the great thing is that is one application for every scholarship. Usually it's between 200 to 400 individual scholarships, but you only fill out one application for all of them. You'll notice again, that deadline is February the 1st this year. So it's really important, again, if you're admitted right now, you have all of these months to get that really taken care of, even though I know I'll be sending you all an email in December letting you all know that you have 2 months left. But that's kind of our 2-pronged scholarship. offer. Now, as you kind of see there, we were ranked the best bang for your buck by Washington Monthly, I believe for the 8th consecutive year, or maybe the 9th was this year. Murray is a very affordable school to attend. We were also ranked the best value in the entire South for regional institutions. So you're definitely going to get what you pay for. That's another big thing. You know, college for some people is too expensive, or sometimes it seems really intimidating. We are committed to it being a very affordable and worthwhile, and retaining the value of what you're getting. So again, I know this is kind of a big question area, so we can definitely come back to this at the very end, but I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to John to keep talking about kind of some of the more fun stuff that we have on campus too, that is unique to the university.
Yeah, so I'll get back into some more fun things, not talking about money. We're going to talk about our dining programs we have here on campus. So freshmen living on campus are required to have one of the 2 all-access meal plans that are on your screen. So we have the straight all-access meal plan, and then we also have the all-access premium meal plan. With both of these meal plans, you will have unlimited access into Winslow Dining Hall, which are the first 2 pictures left to right on your screen. So the one on the left and the one in the middle are Winslow Dining Hall, and that's our dining hall on the residential side of campus. Unlimited access truly means unlimited access. It opens up at 7 a.m. and closes at 11 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And so you can go in there at 7 a.m. and you can stay in there all the way until it closes at 11 p.m. It's buffet style. You can go up there as many times as you want. They have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a late night option inside of Winslow with like 7 or 8 different lines inside of there that students can choose from. With it being unlimited, you can swipe in there 1 time a day, or you can swipe in there 30 times a day. You can go in there for a 5-course meal, or you can go in there for an ice cream cone if you want that. It's truly up to the student. We do have gluten-free options, and so we have our vegan vegetarian line on one side of Winslow, and then we also have a line that doesn't cook with the 8 most popular food allergens, so no gluten, no dairy, no eggs, stuff like that. And then also for any other student that has any food allergens, they're able to talk to the chefs in the back of Winslow, and they'll get you on a meal plan, make sure you're getting fed and also staying healthy with that. With both of these meal plans as well, you will have $75 each semester of Flex. And Flex is going to be our on-campus currency. And so you can use that at the other dining locations you can see at the bottom of the screen. And so that's also non-taxed here on campus. So $75 in the fall. If you don't use any of that money in the fall, it'll roll over to the spring and you'll have $150 to use on your spring semester. However, it will not roll over year to year. So at the end of your spring semester, it's not going to roll over to your sophomore year fall. So make sure you're using that Flex money on campus. The most popular place that students use Flex on campus is called Fast Track. Fast Track, I call it a gas station without gas. I spent a lot of Flex money at Fast Track. It's a convenience store on the residential side of campus. Anything that you might possibly need and you don't want to go to Kroger or Walmart in town, you can stop inside of Fast Track and get it. Microwavable meals, soda, Gatorade, candy, chips, laundry detergent, Tylenol, anything you need, you can find it in there and use your Flex money. So the difference with these meal plans. With the all access meal plan, you will have 5 meal exchanges per week from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 o'clock at night at Tres Habaneros Burrito Bar in the 2nd floor of the Kerr Center, which is our student center here on campus. So 5 times a week from 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock, you can go to Tres Habaneros and use one of those meal swipes for a combo meal upstairs. With the premium, however, you still only have 5 meal exchanges per week, but from 1 o'clock until the restaurant closes, you can go to Chick-fil-A, Steak and Shake, Starbucks, Einstein Brothers Bagels, any other dining location on campus, you can use those meal exchanges at. So your time frame is larger with the premium meal plan we have, and your options are expanded as well. So you can use those 5 meal exchanges Monday through Friday. You can use 5 in one day. It's completely up to you. No matter how many times or how you use those meal exchanges, you still have unlimited access into Winslow. So you can still go in there any time of the day no matter if you've already used a meal exchange at Chick-fil-A or Steak and Shake for that day. Also, if you've already used your meal exchanges for the week, you can still go into these restaurants and use your flex money there if you've already used those meal exchanges. Awesome. I'll kick it back over to Trent.
All right, and when I tell you people are still in love with Chick-fil-A on campus, I mean it is still busy every single time I go there. I was just there this past week. Again, I live in St. Louis, and it's still crazy to me to see how popular these venues still are. And it's a really awesome thing that really was not there when I was a student, that, you know, you can kind of see the next generation of racers just really enjoying the big campus upgrades. But probably the most notable thing on our campus that does make living on our college campus very unique is the way housing is set up. So this was one thing that as you talk to other schools and you kind of gather information, very rarely are other schools going to kind of run on the way we do. So the 3 bullet points you see there, of course, is it is an application process, which I'll talk about in a minute. It is first come, first serve. And then technically all of our buildings are co-ed except for one, but you'll notice we do have 3 different layouts to choose from. So we do have private rooms. These are also the newest built structures on our campus. Richmond just turned a year old this past August. We have community buildings. Those are the second newest on campus. I'm still a Hester Hedgehog, so we will talk about that in a minute. And then we do have suite style buildings as well. So going over to the next slide, I'm going to show you what all these layouts look like so you can kind of get a picture of them. But the reason why I said it's so different is because, you know, as I alluded to, you are picking where you want to live while you're on campus with us. So first and foremost, yes, all freshmen do live on campus. You're actually required to live with us on campus until you complete up to 60 credit hours. Now, once you complete 60 credit hours, we are not kicking you off of campus, but typically that's when we find students are starting internships. They're actually usually living in Murray year round. That's kind of what happened to me. I just got a job. And so, you know, our campus does close down for the summer usually. So I just needed somewhere to live so I can continue to work. But again, when you're on our campus, the big thing that we also want to kind of pass along for you to know is after this presentation is over with, we have your information. We are going to email out to everyone a copy of our cost sheet. So it kind of lists everything out. It explains the tuition model that I was talking about a little bit earlier. It's going to have all the list of those meal plans John's talking about. It'll talk about scholarship. And then on the back is a breakdown of all housing costs. So again, me going back to saying that you can choose whatever you want. You can also choose the price that you pay. For me, when I was coming to a college campus, price was my number one concern. So, you know, I needed to live somewhere very affordable. I had my basic needs met. I was good to go. But we also know there's some students that when you come to college, you want to live that life of luxury. You want that brand new building. You want a private room, which is great. If you don't mind to pay and you want to apply early, I can almost guarantee you're going to get what you're looking for. So again, breaking them down, the residential college system is a lot more like a smaller campus feel within our larger campus community. So you'll notice every residence hall does have its own name. Yes, they have their own crest. Yes, they have their own colors. Yes, when I said I was a Hester Hedgehog, yes, that's our mascot. So you can think of it in terms of when you're coming to a campus for the first time. So for me, I was the only one from my high school graduating class that came down to Murray State, didn't know a lot of people. So before I ever felt like a racer, which is about 1,600 new freshmen at that time, and then about 10,000 total people, I moved into Hart. So Hart was my first place on campus. They gave me a shirt at move-in. They said, hey, welcome to Hart. This is what time your floor event is. This is when you're going to meet your RA. And so you really belong to that community first. They're getting you involved, kind of connecting you into things, and then you can kind of work your way out into the university. Because we know for a lot of people, this is the furthest you've ever been away from home in a place where you probably don't know most of the people. So we want you to be comfortable during that transition. So again, suite styles over here on the left, that's Hart, Regents, and White. I lived in Hart because, as you guessed it, I made John talk about food because it's my favorite thing to talk about, and I talked for way too long. Hart is right beside Winslow Dining Hall, as are most of our facilities, but Hart is technically the closest. So that's why I lived there, close to food. You'll notice here the bathroom was just connected to a room on the other side. So it was me and my roommate, and then our suite mate. So 2 people on the other side sharing that bathroom on campus. So again, that room has everything that you really need. These are the most affordable layouts that are on our campus. Now in the middle is Elizabeth, or as everyone on our campus calls it, Lizzo, and Hester College. So again, you'll notice these beds are longer. You have a closet and a dresser. That window is bigger on campus too. So these are community style. My joke is that it is not the 1970s community style bathroom that everyone pictures in their head. There's 4 private shower stalls, 4 private toilet stalls in each bathroom, and then there are 2 bathrooms per floor of that building. So it's really important for you to know that Murray State cleans that bathroom for you twice a day. So everywhere else on our campus, you're cleaning the toilet, you're taking out the trash, you're buying hand soap, you're buying toilet paper. Whereas in these two buildings only, all of that is taken care of. So I kind of jokingly say you're paying a little bit more, but you're paying for a maid service. So again, I loved living over in Hester. It is where I called home for the longest. So I started over in Hart, moved over to Hester. And then last over here on the far right is Springer Franklin, Richmond, and Clark. So these are private rooms for students. So it's you, your roommate, your own private bathroom there. There is free Wi-Fi, free cable, and free laundry available in all three of these, in all these layouts on campus. But the last thing I want to talk about is that application process. So it is a 3-step process. I technically call it 4-step because you have to be admitted first. So you're going to apply, be admitted, yay, go Racers, you can get that done. Step 2 is that you're going to open the application on your MyGate. MyGate is just our student portal. It's our one-stop shop for all things Murray State students. And the first thing you will do is put down a $150 deposit. Now, you may be sitting here thinking like, wow, you're already trying to take my money. Where does that money go? What do you mean $150? My recommendation to students is that if we're in your top 3 to 4 schools you're looking at, it is worth putting that $150 down because it is a fully refundable deposit. We do not spend that money. It does not go anywhere. It's basically like you getting your place in line. So you pay that $150 whenever you ideally move off campus. We will refund you that $150. Or if you decide later into the summer, nope, I'm not going to Murray State, I'm going to the school over here, all you got to do is notify us and we will refund you that money too. So first thing is the $150 deposit. The next thing we will ask you is to rank these buildings in the order you would want them in. So if there's a building you're thinking right now like, oh yeah, I've got to live there, as long as you're applying early, you will probably get what you want. Again, on our campus is 60% female, 40% male. So if you're a female, it is a little more competitive. If you are a male, John and I both know this, we're usually a little more lax. We're not always on time when it comes to deadlines. But just know that these buildings do fill up very quickly. It truly is first come, first serve. So again, if you ultimately do decide to come to Murray State, we want you to get what you're looking for. The last piece, that kind of the last 3-prong I was talking about, is the roommate. So if you know who you're coming to campus with, you've got a roommate picked out, it's your best friend from high school, you're so giddy, whatever, you guys will list each other on your housing application and submit that. As long as you both request each other, you request the same building, usually it's going to work out. Now, what we do tell students who say, hey, I don't know anyone who I'm coming to college with, what do I do? First, we do not randomly pair roommates on our campus. Again, we've heard a lot of stories about that. I'm sure everyone has their own family experience with random roommates, but our office lovingly calls it Murray State Harmony. We match you with a roommate to live with, and it is, truly based on compatibility. Do you go to bed early? Do you stay up late? We have some students who want to live with someone in the same major as them. We have some students who want to live with an international student. We really let you tell us what you're looking for. So again, if you haven't guessed, at the end of the day, housing is totally your choice. You're choosing the room, you're choosing the roommate, and you're ultimately going to choose the price that you pay to be there, which was really important to me coming to college. So again, this is kind of the housing breakdown. Again, when I send out that sheet at the very end here, or after our presentation, it'll make a lot more sense what that breakdown looks like. But just know, as a freshman, you have complete control over where you live. So again, that's kind of housing really quick. The very last thing that I'm going to cover is campus safety. So first and foremost, before we get to safety, is parking. Another very common question we get, because the average Murray State student does have a 3.5 to 4 hour drive, just based on where they are telling us they're coming from, is that you are allowed to bring your car to campus. So the difference is that $100 pass and that $200 pass. My recommendation, if you are a freshman living on campus, that $100 pass gives you everything you need. Hopefully, if you've not visited our campus, when you do, you are going to notice we have a very walkable, very compact, easy to navigate campus that does not require a car to get to class. You will not drive to Chick-fil-A. It's right beside your residence hall. So again, that $100 allows you to park your car. You never have to move it from the football stadium, but also on the weekends, usually Friday after 4 or 5 o'clock, you can bring your car up because you plan to go to the lake. You're going to drive to Nashville. You can do that. Whereas that commuter pass is truly for students who need to come and go from campus every single day. So again, it's a little bit more expensive. But the most important thing is that when you inevitably get a parking ticket, you can actually pay it off with canned goods. We do have a Racers Helping Racer food pantry on campus. And now, instead of having to pay those tickets with actual money, you can go and donate canned goods to our food pantry as well. So lastly is the safety that is on campus, and then we're going to open it up for any questions you want to talk about. So safety, as you see there, we were ranked the #1 campus for safety initiatives in the nation. So everyone always sees that and they're like, how in the world is Murray the safest campus in the country? What are you talking about? So I always say we are not sitting here telling you that this is the best place to be. This is Mayberry, Andy Griffiths, or Sheriff. But I am telling you that we have a lot of things in place to keep our students safe. So again, you see right there is one of our police officers. So we do have our own Murray State Police Force. John and I both have had really great experiences with them, getting to know them personally. So they eat in the dining hall. They were just as excited about Chick-fil-A as the students were. They actually just recently put out a music video too, right before students moved back in. A couple of them are actually pretty insane musicians, which is exciting and really cool to see. But that's kind of the main force that we have on campus. Of course, we've got Murray City Police. We do have, of course, a sheriff's office and things like that. But those men and women are on our campus engaging with our students every single day. And they're there when students have a crisis, they need help. But probably the most popular is Racer Patrol and Live Safe app. So again, we have these services that can make sure students get from A to B and feel safe. But most popular is that app the students will download. There's a panic button on there. So if you ever hit that button, it goes straight to the officer that you see there. They have your GPS coordinates. They can get to you lickety split. But also on the Live Safe app, let's say you wanted to share your location with a roommate so you know where she is, she knows where you are, or vice versa. So again, we have a lot in place to keep our students safe, and the campus safety initiatives mean we also train you a lot. So you're going to learn, okay, if you're going to consume XYZ substance, here's a safe way to do that, or a safe way to identify, when someone needs assistance, how, when do you need to contact someone for extra help? If you're going to intervene as a bystander, what are some things to look for? We give you a lot of training. I could probably talk for another 10 minutes about all the things that we even put freshmen through. And it's mostly because we want you to be educated because we know we do live in Murray, Kentucky. It is a peaceful town in rural Western Kentucky, but things still happen, especially in today's world. We want students to be prepared and equipped to take care of themselves and their fellow students. So at this time, as we kind of go to the last slide here, what I do want to say is that John and I are very available to talk more. So you've got both of our contact information there. So again, if you want to reach out to me, my joke that I'm sure John's gonna make a smirk face about here in a second is that I work from home. If we're working from home, it's cool. So my work phone is my cell phone. You can just text me. But at this time, like I said, we're gonna open it up to any questions, and then we do have a couple other things to cover. But yeah, at this time, any questions you have, just feel free to shoot it in the chat. All right, well, as those keep coming in, John, I'm going to steal the screen share for a second. So a common question that we get from students and families specifically is, okay, I have taken XYZ dual credit. How do I get that credit to transfer to Murray State? How do I get what I need there? And John, as a transfer student, can talk about this one too. But we do have this really handy website. So let's say I'm going to think specifically of my students right down the road here in St. Louis that are attending SWIC, or maybe you're enrolled at SLU part-time as part of their program. So the first thing that you're going to do first, oh, that's actually a really good question. John's going to eat that question up. So the first thing you'll do is, of course, scroll down here. If you took it from an Illinois institution, you are going to select Illinois, and then it's going to list every Illinois school that we've accepted credits from. That's 2-year, 4-year, everything we have available. So I'm just going to scroll down here to SWIC. And then the next thing you'll see is that it's going to list every SWIC class and exactly how it transferred to Murray State. So again, we have a lot of students who have taken that time in high school. You want to make sure you're getting that credit transferred to Murray State. So this is kind of the way to do that. And then when you come officially, you go to orientation, you learn more about what your classes are going to look like. You can actually check and make sure that all this stuff has been given and added there versus, getting credit for what you're going for. So John, I'm going to let you answer the first question that came in.
Yes, so the first question was about freshman programming for new students. So we have a lot of programming for our new students coming in. So we have 4 different programs. So the first one is going to be summer orientation. The summer orientation is a 1-day event. You'll sign up for it, register for it. You'll come onto campus. Hopefully, we'll see what happens in the near future. But normally you would come onto campus. We have current students that are summer orientation counselors, and they will kind of answer any questions you have. There's some events for family and guests talking about financial aid, scholarships, stuff like that. We will register for classes that day. You'll be just kind of getting to know the students that you're coming onto campus with. We also have 2 other programs that are more in-depth for our new students coming to campus. So we have an Outdoors 101. What that is you'll come through the office, or our office will put it on new student programs, and they'll take you out to go camping and other things like that. And it'll be a lot smaller group. So you'll get to know a handful, maybe 20 students that you're going to come into that freshman year with. And it's a good way to kind of get to know them, also get to know some fellow students that are going to be your counselors. We also have Abroad 101, which is another new student program. And with that, they change the location every year, but you'll go study abroad for, what is it, Trent? Is it a week-long trip?
Yeah, Abroad 101's 1 week.
Yeah, so a week-long trip with other students that are coming to Murray State, and you'll get to know them and some faculty members that'll go with you. And it's a really good way to get to know students you're coming in with, but also explore the world.
Yeah. So the next question in the chat was asking about in-person tours. Absolutely. And actually, if you visit campus right now, you're going to see that beautiful face on the other screen. So John is on campus all day, meeting with families. So we are still offering that that on-campus experience, but it's on a much smaller way. So we used to have pretty large campus visits. You might be in a tour group, whereas now we do have limited capacity, but it is still totally open. We also both love Angela Richardson, who's our campus visit coordinator, and she is kind of the little Wonder Woman who sits up in the front, very bubbly, always very positive, and wants to make every single campus visit possible. So that's not only, so a campus visit is kind of 3-pronged. So first you'd come in, you would meet, we would say hypothetically with John. He's going to give you a very similar presentation to what we just gave you. And then after that, we're going to send you out on campus with the current student. So again, they're going to be talking about their experience, where they like to eat, what they like to do. You're going to see our library, you're going to see where our students eat, you'll see all of campus. And then kind of the thing that we really hinge and really kind of encourage families to do is meet with a faculty member when you come to campus. We do that for anyone who wants that wants that meeting, because they're really able to talk to you more about that program. What do job prospects look like? What does it mean? Because for a lot of people, we know, especially if you want to study business or psychology, a lot of schools sound the same. We get it. So we want you meeting with our faculty, learning why Murray State's unique. Same way with the volunteer opportunities. Someone just asked about volunteer opportunities on campus. It's the same way. We've got a lot of local nonprofits. There's a lot of local organizations always looking for students with road cleanups, anything from, I used to love just going to the Humane Society and walking the dogs. So there's a lot of local organizations. That's kind of what's cool about the town. Is it's big enough, when you throw 20,000 people and 20,000 locals together, there's not only a lot to eat and a lot to shop, but there's a lot of causes they're raising awareness for. And that's another interesting thing of the kind of the demographics of campus is that we have students from all backgrounds. So again, there's people that think, rural Western Kentucky, how open-minded could it be? But there's also people that think, it's a college campus, everyone there is going to have one specific view of the world. And for us, it's really not true. And I think that's what I enjoy the most of Murray. Even though I was a local Kentucky student, I met a lot of people, especially from Illinois. Illinois is our biggest out-of-state population, but also Missouri, Memphis, Tennessee, Alabama. So again, you kind of get all perspectives, all different views on the world. And it really helps because we want to have balanced individuals in our world today. Again, we all have different life experiences, but it's all about having that balance, knowing new people, meeting new people to kind of inform yourself. And I think that's what we always say the college experience to us is really all about. But I'll pass it over to John for closing words and we'll wrap up.
So we have about a minute left. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming today and listening to Trent and myself, kind of get some information about Murray State. But like he's mentioned, if you are interested in coming to campus, getting a tour, that would be my recommendation for you to come to campus, check it out yourself, walk around campus, get to know everybody here in our office as well, listen to us kind of give this same speech to you in person. But you can do so at murraystate.edu and sign up for a virtual visit there.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very short survey. I promise it's 4 questions. Please fill that out for us. We appreciate any feedback that you can provide. And again, this is also just one of many sessions being offered over the next 5 weeks. So feel free to sign up for any additional sessions at IACAC.org. If you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to our presenters. You will be able to access this recording also on IACAC.org in about a week. Thank you so much, and everybody have a wonderful night.